it's time for yet another fabulous Sunday night news and nonsense. I have Total OS today with me, and Deckard and Tux Digital said they couldn't make it. So it looks like just you and me, buddy. How you doing?
Two of the best are here. We need nobody else. Goodbye. No, just kidding. I'm doing good.
So, hey, Toss, how about your daily weather report? Are you ready?
Sure, why not?
Now, live super Doppler has been indicating locally heavy amounts of rainfall across southwest Iowa. Microsoft recommends upgrading to Windows 10. What should I do? Loving that pops up, huh?
And this actually trips her up a little bit, too.
Across southwest Iowa, and we will be keeping track of that as the morning goes along here, too. So, what's going on with my clicker now? Okay, the winds have been very gusty overnight as well. It's the Windows 10, right? That's what people are going to say. Don't do it.
Did you hear her? She said, don't do it. Don't do it, Toss.
Give me your phone number.
So nobody is immune from the Microsoft Windows 10 upgrades that they're just pushing and cramming down people's throats. And the thing that's really ticking people off now is that Windows 10 will no longer let you Google search from Cortana. That's right. Windows 10 is locking Cortana down. And what's really funny is, Toss, I did some digging around, and it turns out that people have already come up with a way to counter that, and Microsoft is on top of it. So there's a counter to the counter thing, and it's only good for, like, the session. So it's like there's this hack you can use to force Cortana to use, to counter what Microsoft's doing, but it's only good for the session, and it's all these long procedures. Oh, it's terrible, Toss.
Well, I broke up with that biatch a long time ago, but no.
Hey, language. Oh, I'm sorry. You said biatch, didn't you?
Yes. Well, look, I like Cortana with the Master Chief, in the Halo games, and I think I'll just keep her there. Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So at any rate, yeah. So yeah, it looks like they're. It's like the harder they tighten their grip, the more and more code slips through their fingers, and these clever little people out there are coming out with ways to fight the software tyrant, huh? What you got, Toss?
It appears that the city of Vicenza, Italy, is going to choose Zorin OS for their city servers, starting, I guess, this month. Isn't that good news? They're dumping, I guess, the other operating system to go with something like this. I think it's awesome.
That is very interesting that they're coming up with this.
Yeah.
My only thing with Zorin OS, and I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from what they're doing, because when I was new to Linux, I tried Zorin OS, and it just said I felt I kind of outgrew it a little bit too quickly. It did bring some neat features to the table, though. They had, like, the animated wallpaper. That is, if you had the Ultimate Edition, and it was really cool because I could have a look at how they were using Zenity. Zenity is the graphical user interface program. I guess it would make a GUI for some of their in-house things that they had, such as the screensaver, the animated wallpapers and the look changers and stuff like that. And it gave you a chance to look at how they were using Zenity to make all of that work. And it was just a series of little scripts and stuff. And so it was a great distribution for me to learn off of. It just that I felt, well, I wanted to move on to something a little bit more powerful. But hey, if people are adopting Zorin OS, that's fantastic. And I know it's a college student over in Ireland. Ardian Zorin is his name, I believe. Yeah. And he's paying his way through college with that distribution. So hey, if he, he's already influencing some countries to use his OS. That's a wonderful piece of work there. Yeah, absolutely.
They're putting that, and I'm reading this real quick here. They're putting the operating system to replace Windows in 700 workstations serving 895 employees in Italy. I think that's awesome. I think they're also switching to the iPhone because one Italian guy says, "Hey, I need a new iPhone. Now, come on."
All right. Well, we all know that Ubuntu and Microsoft are making well, babies with something I need to point out. I did some research this week about all of the tools that are coming to Windows. But, folks, it is not Linux that is coming to Windows. It is actually GNU software. Okay? And basically what has happened is in the merger with Canonical and Windows, they've made a compatibility layer with which to run GNU software, not Linux, because it's not the Linux kernel. It's actually Bash and other GNU software on Windows. So technically it's, I think it's GNU/K Windows, meaning GNU on top of the Windows kernel. I think that's how the Free Software Foundation is coining the phrase and everything. But, you know, I still cannot be absolutely 100% convinced, Toss, that Microsoft has changed its tune, because I have yet another article on the table here where, you know, Microsoft is still up to its nasty shenanigans. And I think, you know, we are at the extend, you know, because they have the embrace, extend, and extinguish theme that they've had. And I think we're at the extend phase with the canonical. Well, let me explain where I'm coming from here, because Microsoft recently made a big noise about its love and support of the open source community, especially Linux, while it's making concrete steps toward improving its support for free and open source projects. Its motives may not be entirely altruistic. Now, this is coming from the Linux Journal, folks. Microsoft continues to fund legal attacks against open source projects on multiple fronts and has crushed open source projects when it suits the company. Such is the case with RoboVM, a Java to mobile compiler that supported cross-platform mobile development. RoboVM originally was an open source project, although that changed after the parent company was acquired by Xamarin in October 2015. And Xamarin had several similar products that support cross-platform development using different programming languages. Naturally, Xamarin saw RoboVM as a suitable addition to its product line. And shortly after the acquisition, an announcement was made to the team that the open source development model wasn't, quote, working out for the RoboVM team, and the project was closed and licensing fees were increased to match the other tools in Xamarin's lineup. So basically, Microsoft purchased this software and has put the kibosh on.
First of all, GNU K sounds like a freaking cereal. And secondly, world domination has been tried before throughout history. A little bit of advice to the powers that be, it doesn't work.
Yep. What you got, Toss?
Well, I have a question. Did you sign a deal with Canonical for the Ubuntu 16.10?
No, I didn't. Why?
Do you know what it's called?
Oh gosh, you know what, Toss? I know what it's called. I don't know if well, the thing is, you know, it's based off of this. Let's throw some hints out there and let some of you guys think about this. It was a song that was popular, and I think it hit the top 40 in 1958. That's 10 years before my time. And it was from a band called the Coasters. Now, whoever owns the intellectual property rights for that music may have some issues with Canonical. Go ahead and tell us what it is, Toss.
Of all the things, it's called Yakety Yak.
Yakety Yak! Don't talk back.
I figured you'd like that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I remember the song. It's like earlier today I was thinking, I wonder if I should, make up some modernized lyrics for it. But I didn't get a chance to do that. But Yeah, because you guys really don't want to hear me singing anyway. But yep, that's what they're calling it, yakety yak. But hey, you never know. Maybe Microsoft owns the rights to all the Coasters albums now, so maybe that could be a benefit of the Ubuntu Microsoft merger, that they can get away with using that without having to pay up any royalties, right?
Exactly.
What do I know anyway, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, it appears, Toss, that Linux Graybeards release beta of System D free Debian fork. Dwovan Jesse Beta's debut in the name of init freedom. Now, you know what, Toss? It's cool that we have something like this, but you know what? System D works. And I even did a demonstration of that this week when I did a net install of Manjaro. Okay, and basically I just installed a display manager. That's a login screen. And I just ran a simple command to system control, and it activated it, and boom. With other init systems, sometimes it can be a little bit more complicated to set up some things than that, but yeah.
Doesn't Ubuntu and Xubuntu use System D?
They do, I believe, yeah.
Well, I mean, look, I upgraded Ubuntu and Xubuntu. I didn't have any issues with the upgrade. We talked about this briefly in my Xubuntu 1604, and in the AMD drivers not being fully available, have this minor glitch where the screen goes blank for a couple seconds and then comes back. But in terms of the core operating system, it seems fine, and that's how I see it. So,
okay. Say, how are those ATI drivers, Toss?
Don't get me started.
Guys, before the show started, I've been trying to talk Toss into giving Manjaro a try, because I did give it a #1 slot in my favorite distributions for beginners, and I actually challenged Toss. I says, Toss, I'm challenging you to give it a 1 month run, use Manjaro for a month, and then let me know in about a month's time what you really think of it from a beginner standpoint. Do you think this is something that somebody who's relatively new to Linux could actually pick up and use on a day-to-day basis? So I challenge Toss that. I hope you will actually consider doing it, because Manjaro isn't that bad of a distribution at all, and a lot of the commands that you put into the terminal and that sort of thing are really not that hard. Watch my 7-part video series. It's easy, Toss.
I'll tell you what, I'll take a look at the series first, and then I'll give you my decision. How does that sound?
Sounds like a winner to me. What you got, Toss?
Oh, I have this is semi-nonsense news. It's actually kind of cool. Was not expecting this. But yeah, apparently a new theme park is going to open in California based on the game Mass Effect. Now, how cool is that?
Okay. And Mass Effect is a neat little sci-fi game and that sort of thing. What is it? What are they going to have? Like laser tag kind of thing going on with that, or what?
It's scheduled to open May 18th. I'm not really sure what it's going to have yet, but it sounds cool. Actually, I'm waiting for next year for the Manjaro Super Tux Kart theme park where you get to shoot all the Linux bugs. That should be very interesting, but no.
Okay. Say, Toss, have you heard of that little add-on for Google Chrome that would allow you to actually run some of the applications from the Google Play Store? I forget what it's called now. It's called Arc Welder. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
Okay. Well, there is a program called Arc Welder which will let you run some Google Play apps in your Chrome browser. Okay. And earlier this week, some Chrome OS code surfaced that suggested Google Play Store would bring millions of Android apps to Chrome OS. Google has experimented with Android apps on Chrome OS, but now it seems poised to unleash the full collection of Android apps onto the browser-only operating system. Now, there's no official word from Google on how this will play out, but the very architecture of Google's Android apps on Chrome OS implementation opens some interesting possibilities.
I would say it's very cool.
Yeah, and I think Windows could see a potential, Microsoft could see that as a potential threat because of how big the We'll have to see how this plays out. But basically, the article was alluding to the fact that it is a possibility that Google could be potentially rolling out something that will bring all of their apps into the Windows ecosystem, thereby crushing the Windows App Store. And it's my understanding that the apps in the Windows App Store leave a lot to be desired.
I think you are correct on that one. Yes.
Okay. What you got, Toss?
It's nonsense time.
Okay, well then before we go into the nonsense, Wizard was here earlier and he gave me a piece of news to share with you guys, so I figure we got a little bit of time for that, so why not pull that out? Movidas unveils artificial intelligence on a stick. Can you imagine that? AI on a stick, Toss?
Sounds like something you get at like a grocery store or something.
Absolutely hot on the heels of a new artificial intelligence capable of thermal imaging camera. Chip maker Movidas has yet another AI implementation up its sleeve, a USB stick that can allow pretty much any Linux computer to handle advanced neural networks. One of the building blocks of AI. Can anybody say Skynet Toss?
Uh-oh, I have to go. Goodbye.
Oh, come on. I thought you were going to give me a better Arnold Schwarzenegger impression than that one.
Good to be here. It's fantastic.
What you got, Toss?
A Brooklyn pizzeria to sell pizza box made entirely out of pizza. So when you order the pizza, you get the box and not the pizza? I don't know.
Okay, but all right. So the pizza is the pizza box too?
A Brooklyn pizzeria developed a delicious and ecologically friendly alternative to a cardboard pizza boxes by creating a box made entirely. All right, so it does show the box made out of pizza, and I guess an extra pizza inside the box. But I guess if you're on a diet, you may not want to do this, right? I don't know.
That's stupid. What else you got? That's stupid. Okay, skip on to the next one. Let's go.
This was last week. This is for real now. It's hard for me to say this.
Now,
Here we go.
Whenever Toss says this is for real, this is when you stick your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la. Go ahead.
Humvees fall from the sky as U.S. Army airdrop fails. Apparently, it was some kind of a show or some kind of training thing. And of course, you got these cargo planes, and when you drop these tanks or these Humvees, I guess they forgot something called the parachute. So this thing, you see this thing dropping and it gets squished. And I guess I can understand this because I think the crew was playing heavy metal.
Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe they were trying to drop test them.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense. Let me just dock it out of your pay, Sergeant. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Western Digital, when they made their shock-free hard drives, they used to drop test them. You know, maybe the Army was drop testing Humvees.
This was a freaking Humvee, not a piece of rubber. Come on.
Oh goodness! I wish I wore my boots because it's getting deep, Toss.
Hey, I just report the news. Don't shoot the messenger, okay?
All right, what else you got?
That's it for this week. That's all I got.
Okay, get the hell off my Skype, and I'll see you next week.
Say goodnight, Spatry.
Nah. First, I'd like to thank everybody who joined us live here at Cup of Linux, and of course, you can always interact with us. At cupoflinux.com. We've got a chat room, and we have Mumble, and we'd like to see more people coming in, hanging out. So if you're ever bored and you're not doing anything, come on over to cupoflinux.com, hang out with us, and come to the dark side. We've got free cookies. That's all I have for this week, and thank you, Total OS Today, for joining us. He's got a great channel as well, so if you haven't seen Total OS Today, check him out on YouTube. That's TOTALBS Today. Oh, I'm sorry, OS Today.
Will you stop it?
All right, have a good one, y'all.
Adios, muchachos.